Hi, my name is Chrissy and welcome to my YouTube channel. All of the items that I'm using will be listed in the description box below. This art journal page is all about layers. Everything that I'm doing with each piece will be layers. The first thing I will be starting with is the newspaper collage paper by Holtz. And I wanted to go from edge to the other edge with the newspaper called the collage paper, and I am using some collage paper to glue it down to the journal page. This is my favorite part to start out because that's how you start out. It gets me thinking of what I want to do next, and it's kind of an inspiration to me, because sometimes art journal pages are really hard for me to start out. Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, my head in my hands, like, what am I gonna do? I don't know what to do. This is kind of scary, but that's the first step. My next step is grabbing out my paper texture paste and using it with this script stencil by Holtz. And I try not to use the paper texture paste all over the place because I don't want to hide it I don't want to hide the collage paper with it. I want it to be in just little bits of areas of the art journal page. And it's probably one of my favorite pastes out there. Finnabair products is one of my top favorite products out there, and I try to do this a little bit quickly because I don't want the texture paste to run underneath the stencil. I try and do it in like 2 little swift motions. What I am currently doing right now is dabbing on some heavy white gesso on the edges. I personally do not like harsh edges, and I wanted this to fade out into the white a little bit, and all I did was just dab down, as you can see, and I dabbed it all over the white because I wanted that to have a little texture too. This next part, I first sprayed down some water all over, and then I added on the peeled paint, distress spray stain, and then I did the Stormy sky right after that. The reason why I put water down first is I wanted more flow to it. Even if it makes the color a little bit lighter, you can always add in more layers for more depth. I should have added ice spruce, but I wasn't really thinking about that. I added ice spruce onto something else, and you will see that later on. I always, after each layer, I dry everything down because excuse me, I've got a sore throat going on here. I always need to have my layers dry before I put on more color. What I am currently doing right now is I used the damp paper towel and I dabbed the edges with water, and I kept adding a little bit water onto it because I was just trying to imitate clouds. Whenever I'm doing like a background, that's just something that goes in my mind is, let's try and imitate clouds. I don't know if you're like that, but maybe if you're struggling a little bit, maybe that's what you can think of, like what you want to imitate, because it helps me out a lot. Fingers are a very good tool. You should try using your fingers. I like to use my fingers to blend the color with another color, and it's given me that teal green color, that really deep teal green color. That's my favorite color. This right here is actually my favorite color combination right now. I started out with alcohol inks, and that's when I fell in love with this type of color combination. I see Tiffany Solorio use it a lot, and I was always too scared to even try it out until I used the color combination on the alcohol inks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. But this is Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just trying to remember. Sometimes, I mean, if you don't want to use your fingers, you can also use a paintbrush. Paintbrushes can be a lot easier for me on certain things that I'm doing. And right now, I am using the oxide spray stain in peeled. No, that's Stormy Sky. And what I do want to tell you is I probably should not have used the oxide, the Stormy Sky oxide, because I did not like how it was looking out. And what I should have personally done, I should have just like dabbed that oxide right off. I was not happy with the result at all. But you know, there's a lesson to be learned here, and I learned a big lesson. Even when you make mistakes, you gotta try and continue on and see what you can do to make that mistake better, to get a better outcome. And that's what I did. Right now, you see me adding in some spray stain in the oxides, because a while ago, I learned that when you mix the spray stain in with the oxide, it makes like a deeper color, and it tones down the oxide, not the oxide, but it tones down the lighter color a lot more. And I was really I was really excited because I was not sure where I was going to go with this, and I was just kind of a nervous wreck because I was about to throw away my art journal page, and I just said I just need to continue on. I got to finish this. I got to do this. I got to push through this, and I'm so glad I did. And I really hope that you are able to tell yourself that when you make a mistake as well. Okay, now you also see me, excuse me again, you also see me going in and erasing some of those dots in the background, and I'll blend out those harsh edges again, because clouds, imitating clouds. But at the end, like, excuse me, my throat really hurts. But at the end, when everything was dry, I was very excited about it, because I had to take a step back and take a few deep breaths and take a break and come back to it when I was more able to, when I felt like I was able to come back. And to my surprise, after it dried, after I came back, I absolutely liked it, because I said I was going to be adding more layers. And this is the other layer and another technique that I learned from Tiffany Solorio. And it was really hard for me to be able to get this technique down. But I added white gesso on a brayer. Before that, I added some microglaze, which I let dry. And then you add this, because that microglaze is a barrier to the white gesso. And right here, you see me, this is a very layered piece. This is white gesso. White gesso tends to soak up the spray stain, and I first used peeled paint because on the Queen of Steam mold here, the clay mold, I wanted to give a greener effect. I also darkened the edges with some Stormy Sky to give that tealish effect, and I absolutely love it. At the end, you'll also see me add some gold metallic wax, finnabair gold metallic wax. That will be added to the Queen of Steam mold just to make it stand out more, and it will be used on my leaves as well. But I will be adding some music here. I want to thank you for staying so long, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you.